Picture two men entering a high-stakes negotiation with a massive client. We will call the first man Mark. Mark is nervous, but he wants to appear dominant. He walks into the room and immediately starts pitching. He talks about how great his company is. He lists all his product features. When the client stays quiet, Mark panics. He hates silence. To fill the uncomfortable void, Mark starts offering discounts. He negotiates against himself before the client has even opened their mouth. Mark talked his way out of his own profit margin. Now, look at the second man. Let's call him Victor. Victor enters the room. He asks one highly calculated, open-ended question about the client's biggest problem. Then, he shuts his mouth. He leans back. He uses tactical silence. The client, feeling the empty space, starts to talk, and talk, and talk. The client complains about their current vendor. They reveal their tight deadlines. They expose their biggest fears and their budget constraints. They give Victor the exact blueprint to their mind. Victor does not interrupt. He just listens, completely cold and analytical. When the client finally stops, Victor customizes his pitch using their exact words. He doesn't offer a discount. He charges a premium because he knows exactly what they are desperate for. Dale Carnegie wrote, "Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves." The nice guy reads this and thinks he should become a free therapist. He listens to show empathy. He listens to be polite. The elite man reads this and understands its dark utility. Listening is not a passive act of kindness. It is the most aggressive form of intelligence gathering you can deploy. When you talk, you are repeating what you already know, and you are bleeding data. When you listen, you are mapping the battlefield. Welcome to tactical intelligence gathering. Why is it so easy to extract classified information from people in everyday conversations? To understand this, you must understand the greatest vulnerability in the human brain, the ego. Dale Carnegie noted a simple, brutal fact. A person's toothache means more to that person than a famine in China which kills 1 million people. Let that sink in. People are obsessively, hopelessly addicted to themselves. They want to be heard. They are desperate to feel important. And in the modern corporate world, nobody is truly listening. Everyone is just pretending to listen while they wait for their turn to speak. This is your ultimate tactical advantage. When you deploy intelligence gathering, you give your target the one drug they cannot get anywhere else: undivided, intense attention. You ask a targeted question. You look them dead in the eye, and you stay completely silent. What happens next is entirely predictable. Their ego takes the bait. They feel a sudden, intoxicating rush of importance. And in their desperation to keep your attention, to impress you, and to validate themselves, they will talk. They will over-explain. They will drop their professional mask. To sound smart, they will reveal their company's internal problems. To sound successful, they will expose their hidden insecurities. To sound tough, they will hand you their deepest fears. Every word they speak is a puzzle piece falling onto the table. The amateur gets bored when other people talk. The elite man stays hyper-focused. He is not just listening to the words. He is listening to the psychology behind the words. He is scanning for emotional triggers. They think they are having a friendly conversation. They do not realize they are sitting in an interrogation room, willingly giving you the exact blueprint on how to control them. So, how do you actively extract this data? You do not interrogate them. You do not shine a light in their eyes. You use the extraction method. Dale Carnegie gave us the exact key. Ask questions that the other person will enjoy answering. The amateur asks questions just to be polite. How was your weekend? How was the weather? These are dead-end questions. They yield zero tactical data. The elite man asks tripwire questions. A tripwire question is designed to trigger the target's ego and make them feel like an expert. You ask, how and what? How did you manage to pull off that massive project? What is the biggest challenge your department is facing right now? How did you know that was the right move? When you ask a tripwire question, you step back and create a vacuum. The target will immediately rush in to fill that vacuum because you just gave them permission to brag. Now comes the most critical part of the operation, the nudge. When they finish speaking, they will pause. They expect you to jump in and share your own story. Do not do it. Keep your mouth shut. Instead, use a subtle physical nudge. Nod your head slowly. Maintain deep eye contact. Or simply say 3 words. Tell me more. Human beings hate uncomfortable silences. When you refuse to fill the silence, they will fill it for you. They will dig deeper. They will go from talking about surface-level facts to revealing their underlying emotions, their frustrations with their boss, and their hidden motives. You let them do 90% of the talking. You do 100% of the controlling. They will leave the conversation thinking you are the most fascinating, empathetic person they have ever met. And you will leave the conversation holding the keys to their kingdom. So you have executed the extraction method. The target has emptied their mind and handed you their fears, their goals, and their insecurities. What do you do now? The amateur immediately tries to use this information to win an argument. The elite man does something much more terrifying. He takes all that data, locks it in a mental vault, and waits. He plays the long game. Dale Carnegie wrote, "Talk in terms of the other person's interests." When the time comes to make your move, whether it is asking for a raise, closing a massive deal, or getting your team to execute your plan, you do not talk about what you want. Nobody cares about what you want. Instead, you open the data vault. You take the exact words, fears, and desires the target revealed to you weeks ago, and you wrap your agenda inside of them. If you know the CEO is terrified of losing market share because he confessed it to you in a friendly chat, you do not pitch your new project as a way to make the company better. You pitch it as the ultimate shield to protect his market share. You feed his own psychology right back to him. When you do this, their ego is entirely bypassed. They will not resist your idea because they feel like you are fighting for their survival. They will champion your cause. They will give you the resources you need. They will think you are a visionary who perfectly understands their struggles. They do not realize that you simply built a Trojan horse out of their own words, and they just open the gates to let you in. The weak man talks to be heard. The elite man listens to conquer. If you are ready to stop bleeding information and start extracting it, type "I own the data" in the comments below. Welcome to the TEDUY Brotherhood. Subscribe to the channel, master the game, and stay cold.